In this episode of On Two Wheels, we're giving you the first look at MV Agusta's new F3. This bike is fresh out of the crate and we're the first publication to get a crack at it.
It's a 675cc triple. It's got a load of electronics, it's lightweight, high powered, and this one's only got 100 miles on the clock.
It's just a baby, man. Let's break it in proper. One of the first things we do when we get a bike is run it on the dyno to see what kind of horsepower it makes. MV Agusta's got some pretty high claims for this thing. What do you think? Like, in reality, 120 at the rear wheel?
120 at the rear wheel would put it even with the triple 1050, which seriously outweighs it in the ring, so it'll be interesting to see.
All right, well, we're gonna fire it up and find out. The best run showed a peak output of 112 horsepower and 47 foot-pounds of torque. That's pretty good for a middleweight, but still a little bit down on what MV Agusta claimed. That's because MV measures horsepower at the crank, whereas we measure it at the rear wheel. So this bike's got variable engine modes, so we're gonna try, that was in sport mode, we're gonna try it in normal mode and see what the difference is. If it cuts the top off peak power or if it just like levels out delivery. Now we're gonna overlay the graph to see how they compare in terms of laying down the power.
Black is normal, red is sport.
The normal engine mode doesn't have an effect on peak horsepower. In fact, it smooths out power delivery up top, which should make it easier to ride on the street and at the racetrack.
Look at the bump in torque.
Yeah,
in sport mode. That's a huge blip.
And that's why we do this stuff, so we can, get scientific data that backs up or refutes whatever we felt on the racetrack. Quarter-mile runs are part of the testing procedure in Motorcyclist magazine, and it gives us hard data by which we can compare new bikes to existing models. The MV Agusta F3 ran a 10.85 second quarter mile at 133.25 miles per hour.
Numbers look good, consistent numbers, classic Ari Henning.
This thing's kind of hard to launch. The clutch is really grabby. And the power comes on so hard at 10,000 RPM, like the front wheel wants to snap up. If I don't keep my weight completely over the front end, it just wheelies up so hard. And the quick shifter is not working that great under heavy load. All right, track time?
Track time.
The MV Agusta F3 has class-leading horsepower, and it's also the first bike in the middleweight category to come with a full electronics package that includes a quick shifter, adjustable traction control, variable engine maps, and adjustable electronic engine braking. That's a lot of cutting-edge features, but as it turns out, they weren't all beneficial. The 8-level traction control doesn't work as well as some other systems on the market. We turned it off and ended up turning faster laps because of it. The F3 is incredibly lightweight and bends into corners like a proper race bike, but it doesn't have a steering damper, so it shakes its head quite a bit coming off corners. Quick shifters allow full throttle, clutchless upshifts. The accessory is effective at moderate engine speeds, but at high RPMs and high engine loads, it doesn't work as well. So we had the privilege of riding this thing all day at the racetrack, and for our first attempt from MV Agusta, the F3 is really an impressive bike.
Pretty impressive, yeah. We came away with a long list of likes for this bike. Tons of power. Looks great.
It's lightweight, it's nimble, it handles extremely well, it fits us really well, and it's got that impressive electronics package.
Although we found that we liked them turned way down or off, which brings us to the list of dislikes that we have, including no steering damper, which turns out is kind of frightening.
Yep, and it's got that power spike at 10,000 RPM, so when you're coming off a corner, the thing just wants to step out and high side you.
Right, and as we all know, high sides are no fun. So if we want all the good things and none of the bad things about this bike, why not just get a 675R?
Good point. This bike looks similar, sounds similar, it has more torque, it's got a really good quick shifter, a steering damper, it goes faster on the racetrack, faster on the quarter mile, and it also comes with $5,000 worth of speed suspension, and it's still cheaper than that thing.
What else can you say?
The Triumph's quick shifter works exactly as it should, and I hate to sound cliche, but Öhlins suspension really is the best you can get, and this stuff comes stock on the Triumph. The Daytona 675R was ready to rock right out of the box and handled wonderfully, whereas the MV Agusta took quite a bit of adjustment before it was ready to go. Smooth power and progressive clutch engagement allowed Triumph's 675R to go down the quarter mile in 10.74 seconds at 130.12 miles per hour. That's 1100s faster than the MV. People buy triples because they want linear power and lots of mid-range torque, and that's exactly what the Triumph delivers. The Daytona also has an incredible chassis and handles just like the thoroughbred sport bike that it is. Taken on its own, the F3 is a great bike, but it's new, so it's still got some teething problems. Maybe in a year or two it'll be up to the standard that the 675R is set, but for the time being, if you're after a 3-cylinder sport bike, the Daytona 675 is your best bet.
That wraps up another episode of On Two Wheels and another day at the office here at Motorcyclist Magazine. So keep an eye out for the issue on newsstand soon, and leave a comment below if you have any specific questions about the bikes. We'll do our best to answer it, and no comments about Aries hair, please.